I'd like to call the meeting to order. Can I get a roll call, please? Here. Here. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Sussex-Wantage Regional School District Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the school building, and notice of said meeting sent to the New Jersey Herald and the Star Ledger. The Sussex-Wantage Regional School District is a responsive, caring, child-centered community. Our mission is to educate each individual to become confident, competent, lifelong learners, and productive, responsible citizens by providing challenging opportunities in a safe environment through a partnership of families, schools, and communities. At this time, we move on to the report of the superintendent of schools.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to invite Mr. Schwartz up to present the Sussex Middle School Student Award.
Good evening, Mr. Wall, Mr. D'Agostino, members of our Board of Education, and our audience tonight. While our circumstances continue to be anything but normal, our students have started the school year off eager to engage in the learning process again and continue to impress us. Before I begin tonight, I would like to acknowledge the hard work and determination of all of our students, teachers, and parents. It takes patience and flexibility, determination and courage, organization, and a variety of other skill sets to ensure that each child is successful. I would like to thank the entire SMS community for all that they have done for our students during this time. Tonight, I will recognize a student from each grade level that has gone above and beyond to start the school year. The 6th grade student of the month for October is Justin Humber. Justin is a young man that approaches every day and every class eager to learn. Justin is excited to be back in school this year and really likes all of his teachers. In particular, he enjoys math class, a class that has come easy to him throughout his school. Outside of school, Justin enjoys playing soccer and video games, and as an avid gamer, Justin would love to pursue a video game design career in the future. Justin's teacher stated the following: Justin has exhibited an eagerness to learn during the first 2 months of school. He is always willing to participate in lessons, regardless of whether it is in person or online, or during virtual learning experiences. Justin completes all of his work in a timely manner and is a very respectful and responsible young man. We look forward to seeing all that Justin will accomplish throughout his school year. Please join me in congratulating Justin as the 6th grade student of the month.
Congratulations, Justin. Great job.
The 7th grade student of the month for October is Mackenzie Greco. Mackenzie has a love for writing and enjoys creating both fiction and nonfiction pieces. Mackenzie would like to be a photographer someday and enjoys taking pictures any chance she can. Other than taking pictures, she has a very active lifestyle outside of school, and she enjoys playing basketball, field hockey, softball, and loves to ice skate. Mackenzie's teacher stated the following: Mackenzie comes to both in-person and virtual classes with enthusiasm and a willingness to learn. She adds a positivity to her classroom environment, which benefits both her classmates and her teachers. Mackenzie demonstrates a strong work ethic. She's very conscientious and consistently turns in a high level of work. Her teachers appreciate all she brings to their classrooms and looks forward to all of the work We are looking forward to great things from Mackenzie this year. Please join me in congratulating Mackenzie Greco as the 7th grade student.
Great job.
The 8th grade student of the month for October is Madison Huchin. Madison has picked up right where she left off last year, doing an exceptional job with both in-person and remote learning. Tonight, I'm going to share 2 statements from her teachers that speak to why Madison is earning this recognition tonight. Madison works nights and weekends to complete her work. She messages her teachers when she doesn't understand something and shows a deep concern for her own learning. She has greatly matured and reminds other students about good Google Meet protocol. Madison has continued to do well and participates fully in the challenging circumstances that we have. She has made tremendous strides in her schoolwork and her confidence, and we highly recommend her for this recognition. When I spoke to Madison, I asked her how she does it. How has she made this challenging experience such a success? Madison's response was very fitting. She stated, "I don't really know. I just get it done. I just get all of the work done like it's my job, I guess." It is clear to me why Madison has been so successful. As she continues to enjoy her classes and schooling, or softball and hobbies like cooking, Madison has learned one of the most valuable lessons that life can teach us. Hard work pays off. Madison has continued to put in the hard work day in and day out, and we thank her for all that she has done. The sky's the limit, and we are looking forward to watching this young lady as she moves throughout her future and all of her schooling this year and next year. As we say goodbye to Madison at the end of this year, I can tell you that she has had a tremendous impact on her teachers, peers, and the entire SMS community. Please join me in congratulating Madison.
Great job.
Thank you, Mr. Schwartz. Congratulations on all the city and well deserved. We always say to the folks in the audience, we welcome you to join us for the rest of the meeting. However, we understand some of you may be doing that, so now would be an opportunity to finally, if you didn't want to stay. Thank you for reporting out some of the happenings in the district relative to curriculum and special services kind of meeting. This is still actually reported out. We continue map testing, identical assessments, some programs that we're looking at, one for the younger grades is something called Happy Numbers. We're under the impression that it's preferred by a number of folks for the younger kids. To go on being fun. Filling your cup is another program that we're looking at. Mrs. Stimulakis has done extensive work in narrowing down strategy to get folks CPR certified. We usually bring in an outside agency to assist with that. So one of the things we're looking at doing now is we have a staff member who's certified in the process to where they can train our other staff members in CPR, so we're looking to take advantage of that. There's some out-of-pocket costs associated with that, things like the dummies we use for CPR. But over the long haul, it would, result in less costs for us. So the curriculum committee was in favor of doing that. I asked Mrs. Stimulakis to double check. She already vetted that with we're in this awkward scenario where we have school that's less than ideal, and we're trying to come up with strategies to, make it more normal, make it more fun, if you will, for kids. So we're constantly brainstorming some of those things, how we can walk those. Special education, Mrs. Wilson, our Director of Special Education, reported out a couple things that she's working on. There's a presentation that she's arranging for staff on Piglet. Piglet is a pink dog, for lack of a better description, that is apparently very popular. But she's looking at bringing that in, and it's connected to a whole morale piece. Slowly piloting the phasing in of our self-contained groups, increasing their attendance in school. She attended CPAG, that's our Special Education Parent Advisory Group. The next meeting is November 30th. Talk a little bit about our pandemic team met this week in each building. Basically a group of people who kind of brainstorm various things that are going on with our response to COVID-19. So one of the things we talked about, we have recess in 2 of the 3 buildings, and again, how can we expand on that now? Maybe make it a little more inviting. And PE equipment, so that we're operating under a mindset of trying to keep kids socially distant. So within that context and framework, what can we do to make PE a little bit more inviting? The middle school, my understanding from talking to the administrators, we're also running into another dynamic where the kids at this age are much more concerned with grooming and their appearance, and we're not utilizing the locker rooms. So you're meeting some resistance there with the participation. So what kind of things can we do to help kids along with that? Resources. So all the things that we talk about in our pandemic response and how we're operating the school, and under the mindset of how can we expand things, it's all within this framework of the Department of Health guidance and the data that they're issuing. And unfortunately, right now, the state is broken down into risk categories, right? They give you a map of the state of New Jersey, and there's different regions broken down. And it's color-coded. So it goes from green, which is the best, yellow, orange, red. Red is your closed, fully remote. Orange is, you're preparing, not going, fully remote. And yellow is kind of like this limbo between green and orange. So for the longest time, since this reporting started, I want to say, over a month and a half to 2 months, Sussex County has always been green, up into the last 2 reporting periods. So the most recent one is October 17th, I believe, and we're yellow. The whole state is yellow, and the one prior to that is yellow. So you're trying to brainstorm these things in the context of we're now yellow. And yellow means that you're seeking, pay attention to stuff, start trying to minimize things. So there's that odd dynamic, that balance. So you're trying to provide more, you're trying to think of how you can provide more, but you're yellow. So that's kind of the context for what we've been working on. We talked a little bit about the road ahead, and please don't go out and say, like I said, we're bringing kids back. The goal has always been to have school as normal as possible, right? Have everybody in school. Unfortunately, we're not there yet. But we're starting to think about that. How could we do that if that were to be the case, if other things came into alignment? We talked about some things that may be working in our favor in that regard. In particular, kids have been, even at the youngest levels, for the most part, good about following the paradigm that we put in place. They're in compliance, with the exception of some smaller groups. We talk about things that are working against us. So again, you have this yellow piece that, we have no control over yellow, we have no control over the rate of transmission. Another thing that's working against us is the challenge around providing lunch. Because when you provide lunch, you have to take your mask off. When you do that mask, we're being told that that's more of a challenge for spreading COVID. So you're working through, kind of strategies like that. Another thing that I see poses a significant challenge for us for operation isn't just the idea of people contracting COVID and getting But even if you don't catch COVID or get sick, there's this other piece of the quarantining process that the Department of Health makes you go through. And, everybody understands it's well intentioned, you have to do that. But that quarantining process has the potential, in my view, to cripple school districts. Just because you look at the scenario, generally what we're experiencing is, we're also saying to folks, you can't come to work if you're feeling ill, right? Makes total sense. But what happens is that turns into about a week of an employee not being present. So you have the initial scenario where someone doesn't feel well, right? They have symptoms, runny nose, belly ache, whatever it is. They follow up with their physician. The physician, very well intentioned, saying, what? We're going to give you a COVID test. So now, you have a COVID test, but when you're not having that employee to come back. So that one employee, that's a week process. So we've been able to facilitate that thus far, but the challenge that lies ahead, again, while you're in this hand trying to bring more to students, more to families, you have this other dynamic, right, where you're getting more and more restrictions placed on you. So one of the things that you're looking at as a school district is how is cold and flu season going to impact school district operations? And I don't have a concrete answer to that, but when you put it in the context of anybody who's feeling ill can't come to work, and at minimum you're out for a week to complete that whole process, even if you don't have COVID, it impacts our operation. And we saw that during the only instance that we had with coronavirus. So on a positive, we delayed it a couple times, but we were able to, the special services team was able to bring in our self-contained populations on a 4-day week. Now that's not everyone, that's not the pre-K group, I know some folks are dissatisfied with that, and we're trying to work towards building upon that. There's some very specific reasons as to why that group, we weren't, the special service department felt that they weren't able to get that done yet. But the good news is that we are working towards that, and we hope to build upon it. I just want to say special thanks to Mrs. Reiner, continuing our food distribution. When we had the closure, that jumped from like a normal distribution to where we needed an assembly line of people to produce the quantity of food. I think it's in excess of 600 meals given out, so we appreciate that. Also want to thank the Moss family, Mr. and Mrs. Moss, who ordered a small, tiny pumpkin donation to all kindergarten students at the Lawrence School. Mrs. Moss family has a pumpkin guy, so we appreciate that. Last time I just wanted to note, I thought about something I think Mr. Nuss brought up. We talked about snow days. Mr. Nuss was a fan of drinking hot cocoa and having snowball fights and sleigh riding and how do we have a remote day? As a school official, we endured last year. We had that ice storm over 3 days. That assuming you had power, it would be great to be able to institute remote learning. So you didn't have to add those on to the end of the year. Fortunately, right now, Colorado County Super, the NJGOE, does not give us authorization to use remote learning for anything other than a COVID matter. So I couldn't even say right now, not my discretion to say, snow day will go with it. So they get the show. Yeah, how could it go marshmallow? The only other thing I want the board to reflect on, contemplate, just to hear you out on it, is next week, we had Governor Murphy, we went totally remote for Tuesday, right? So Tuesday's a co-work B-day, guys go totally remote, we announced that some time ago. That's due to Governor Murphy instituting a school-wide closure for the state of New Jersey for election day. I can't talk specifically about student matters in the public forum, but I can give you a little more insight in addition to our meeting tomorrow. So the special services team looked at the totality of the matter. I'm going to make a distinction between self-contained and inclusion. Inclusion is a little different program. They're not coming back at this time 4 days a week. 4 days a week is a special educated self-contained. So for the most part, generally speaking, they kind of spend their time together in a room except for some special things like that. So when they looked at that, they looked at all the groups. And when they looked at that pre-K group, we've got a couple scenarios in the pre-K group that makes the dynamics of having that entire group a little more challenging. The group as a whole would be very large, right? So in excess right now, 2 more, 3 more last minute, approximately 24 people in that group. So we have a hard time managing social distancing in that environment as it is. That is really complicated. That group, because of the age and because of some of the other scenarios in the class, they're the most reluctant to wear the mask and keep the mask on, right? So that further complicates things. And then we have another dynamic that I'm not going to get too involved with, but there's an increased propensity for exposure to bodily fluid. So all of those scenarios grouped together make it a little bit more challenging for that group to start. And Mrs. Wilson and her team, they're working on how can we get that done. I got a couple strategies that I'm not, publicizing right now because they're really not fine-tuned, not able. But our goal is to get them in. We want to get them in. I think we want to get them in. But we're not there yet. Ultimately, it was deemed it wasn't safe.
But those are the children who need it the most.
100%. 100%.
And there are values and not being met for children. My son does not get PCR1. His ABA, he's not going to tell ABA or virtual computer. I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah, so under the best characterization possible that I would make, I would call remote learning, hybrid learning, less than ideal for everyone.
It's not ideal for example.
Yeah, I'm saying, so my most favorable opinion would be it's less than ideal, right? So it's not good. And it would be an unfair comparison to compare it to regular school, right? What we said at the beginning of this process was, how does it compare to last year? Coming to school 2 days a week is better than last year, right? Is it good? No, it's not good. Like, we want to get everybody to school, we want to do it safely. So we're hoping that we learn some other things from these other groups currently coming in that may translate to help us with that. But that right now, I think it's too big.
So why don't you offer the parents a survey to see what their parents, maybe some kids don't want to send their kids out in 4 days. But give us an option. To see maybe the class size won't be big if some of the parents don't want to send their children to school 4 days a week. Like
Of that group or everybody in the district?
Of the group.
Of the group, yes. So Mrs. Wilson has ironed out what she knows that number is going to be. So we know it's going to be low.
Mrs. Wilson was talking to me about the pandemic restart program, but we're all in the same district. So how is it safe for middle school that's not safe for the boarding school?
Well, for some of the reasons that I talked about. You mean the pandemic for your group?
Right. She said she's following the pandemic, as we call it, direct cover. She's following the protocol, the pandemic, the protocol. But we're all in the same district, so we follow it for one school, we should follow it for the whole school. And I feel that the preschoolers, they're more taking education.
I'm in agreement with you. If we can get it done safely, we're committed to doing that right now. They do it again.
But we're not even looking at it.
I'm sorry?
We're not even looking at it. We're not even looking at how to make it safe.
I agree with that.
You're not giving us an option to see. We should help out everybody. We should ask the parents. We should be willing to send them 3 4 days during these circumstances.
Again, I think she's confident in the numbers that she's going to have in that group.
So if we have a high enough number, we have this cafeteria meeting, and only have space where you can socially distance in the school, is there a room that is big enough to have that many people?
And so, you're looking at that, right? All the rooms are generally the same size. You have some multi-room spaces like the CAF and the media center. But any We use all those spaces.
Yeah.
So we don't have a solution.
I'm sorry, what you said?
I said, so we don't have a solution.
As of now, the solution is to continue with our current method, other than meeting with you tomorrow, and talk about some of the other concerns that we have in this. I don't want to get into too much detail because it's a public one.
But I can assure you they are working on it. I've talked to Mr. Gall on the past couple of days, and they are trying to iron that out, hopefully sooner rather than later.
He said that my son is not successful over the computer and speech reduction for sure, so I'm not the only one who sees it.
Oh, listen, again, I agree with you. I've known you for a while. Like you as a person, I agree.
And he's only getting older, you know, he's like before.
Yeah.
And the other issue that I found is why wasn't our speech department, our teachers say to start in-person speech when the first day of school started?
I'm sorry.
Why wasn't our speech department, our speech people, why weren't they like all the equipment to start seeing our children in person on the first day of school? Why did they just get their equipment on Monday?
I don't know what equipment you're referring to, but I'm sorry, you ready for me?
They ordered glass or plexiglass to be in between the students and they got sent somewhere completely different. So we had to cancel that order and reorder them. So the minute we got them, they started.
Yeah, but that's not even the case. I mean, that's one of many other, what I characterize as PPE products, and I even come to my office, I got extra now on various things. So I don't know what you're referring to. They were doing telespeech.
They were, I'm just saying they should have been prepared.
Yeah. I would disagree that they weren't prepared. I think there was a preference for some other taller plexiglass piece that.
I don't know, but I do know that when the Warren School is doing in-person speech, and again, the Wantage School is not. My daughter is in Wantage, she does speech, and we're doing virtual. Why aren't things the same? We're all in the same district, we're all following the same guidelines, and yet every school is doing something different.
Yeah. Well, I can't comment on every scenario, but the special services arena is a highly individualized process. We have a lot of different dynamics. I don't know the specific
But Ms.
dynamic.
Wilson said that not to us social services, why is she following, why is it the same for everyone?
Again, I think it's a highly individualized process. I can't speak to a scenario for one school that I'm not familiar with. I have to follow up with her about it. But telespeech instruction is an authorized process.
But PT, you cannot get online. You cannot get virtual.
Again, I think it's an imperfect scenario. We're working to improve it, but you're operating under a challenge of, we have to socially distance. For something like speech, you can go to the CDC website, taking off your mask, or rather, plexiglass facials are not substitutes for taking off your mask, right? So how do you do speech with a mask on? So they've tried to come up with creative ways to get through that.
Only tomorrow.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Bell.
Thank you.
Are there any other public comments? Yes, Mrs. Cooper.
Good evening, Mr. Wall, Mr. D'Agostino, members of the Board of Education and our community. My name is Rody Schubert. I'm a special education teacher here at Sussex Middle School, where I have proudly served this community for 30 years. In that time, I have worked with and learned from some of the best people in the education field: teachers, administrators, nurses, teaching assistants, custodial, kitchen staff alike. I have taught in a self-contained classroom, an inclusion classroom, and taught all subjects and all three grade levels in the school. I'd like to share some facts that I've learned in my tenure here with you tonight. The middle school years are a time of growth and confusion for children. They are children. They are still children, not yet adults. They are looking to see who they are and what they will become. While they want to be adults and treated as such, physiologically, they are still children. Their brains and bodies are still developing. There's a great deal of learning that takes place, and it doesn't all the most. And we just expected those who cross the magic portal to middle school to know how it worked, what to do with it, and what was expected of them overnight. This is a fact. We're still figuring it out. I myself am amazed at what I've been able to accomplish on computers since March. I've learned more in the last 6 months than I have in 35 years since I was introduced to a computer. But I had time to learn, and people to teach me and help me out. I have an adult brain that knew I had to do this and figure it out. I have an adult brain that knows how to do my work. Middle schools don't have that yet. Middle school kids don't have that yet. They are still children, still learning to figure it all out, still trying to balance being a kid and trying to grow up. They cannot handle what we've thrown at them using the schedule we've set for them. May I suggest that we look at what we've set for them to do? They sit in one spot from 8:40 until 3:30 with very few breaks. Concentrate on a screen that is not flashing in bright color and full of music and characters interacting in fantastic ways. Try to focus on a still screen while your big brother is crying in the background or your little sister is crying on your lap. The distractions we are expected to tune out do not exist in school. They are at home where they have other things expected of them which interfere with studying on the screen all day. May I now suggest that we look at ways to adjust this system for the benefit of all of us before it's too late. Everyone in this district says the middle school is its own animal. It is so different from the other schools. And you're right. It is. It should be. What we do here must be different because of who we are working with and what we need to create. So let us be different. Let us adjust our schedule to allow children to be the children they still are. Let us adjust our curriculum to teach the skills students need right now. Let us change our STEAM program to focus on how to use the computer as a tool, not a toy. Let us adjust our schedule so kids have time to process what we teach and apply it, and still run around like kids. Let our staff have time to recreate education and communicate with each other to improve what we are doing and how we do it, and communicate with our kids and their families with less stress for all involved. Mr. Gall, Mr. D'Agostino, members of the board, and members of the community, please stop and look at what we are doing right now. Look at what we are creating. It isn't good. Think about what you want for this group of children, and let us, the professionals you have chosen over the years, the group of talented, dedicated professionals you have entrusted your children to, let us do our job the way we know we can, a better way than what we are doing right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Kincaid. Yes, Mr. Geller.
Speak to the mayor. Still get rid of line. I told you the first public session was attend our moment. Then I heard the agenda and found out that it's not.
Correct.
A few quick items. I'll try not to take up the entire evening. First, thank you for opening your meeting to public participation. Somehow we have to work to get this world back to some semblance of normal. The Chinese Communist Party virus pandemic, also referred to as COVID-19, has made it very clear that our public education system has totally failed to properly teach American history. Based on what we read in the newspapers, even many of our top government officials, even though they have sworn to uphold the Constitution, don't even know what form of government the United States has. These United States is a constitutional republic, not a democracy. We the people have rights. To quote Benjamin Franklin when he was asked what kind of government the delegates intended to propose, quote, a republic if you can keep it, unquote. But then Benjamin Franklin also has been quoted as stating, when people find out that they can vote themselves But then, depending on what happens next Tuesday, these United States could become the Venezuela of North America. The New Jersey Department of Education, next item, New Jersey Department of Education has reported that back on 15 October 2019, Sussex-Wantage had a student enrollment of 1,072. Your 2020-21 budget estimated that in October 2020, you would have 1,114 students, an increase of 42 students. After you adopted the state's disaster transgender policy, a number of parents told me that they wanted to pull the children out of Sussex-Wantage. Of course, finances are a major problem for most, but not for all of them. Now, for a number of reasons, there appears to be a big push at homeschooling. How many students have pulled out of Sussex-Wantage because of disaster transgender policy or because of homeschooling, etc.? What is the present student enrollment in Sussex-Wantage? If the student enrollment is gone down, what effect will this have on state funding? With the reduction in number of students attending classes, how many Sussex-Wantage employees are being paid not to work? Sussex-Wantage is supposed to be an educational facility, not a welfare program at our taxpayers' expense. Next item, I'm requesting that this board vote to repeal this disastrous transgender policy. Last item, there was a letter to the editor last week's Advertised News in which 3 people offered to be, quote, role models for your children. One of the senators is Nicholas D. Agostino. Nick, since you voted for the transgender policy, you voted to destroy these students, destroy their families, and destroy our country. How could you ever possibly be a good role model for anyone? Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Geller. Are there any other public comments? All right, seeing none, we will move on to the approval of board minutes for September 30th, 2020, regular and executive session. Looking for a motion, please.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. Thank you. Any discussion on the approval of board minutes? All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Nuss?
Yes.
Mrs. Steele? Yes. Mr. Hyden?
Yes.
Mr. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. Lee? Yes. Mr. Davis?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. We will look for the board secretary certification.
Pursuant to NJA 66A, section 16.163, I certify that as of September 30th, 2020, when I am account as an purposes and expenditures which entail a single line item association in violation of NJA 66A 23A-16.1.
Thank you. At this time, we will move on to the presentation of agenda items.
Thank you, Mr. D'Agostino. On personnel, items 1 through 12.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. Looking for a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Giuliano. Any discussion on personnel 1 through 12? Roll call, please.
Mr. Nuss?
Yes.
Mr. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. Hyden?
Yes.
Mrs. Steele? Yes. Mrs. Woody? Yes. Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Under policy, local items number 1 and 2.
Looking for a motion, please.
I'll vote.
Thank you, Mrs. Steele. Second, please.
I'll second it.
Mr. Nuss, any discussion on policy? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Steele? Yes. Mr. Nuss?
Yes.
Mr. Hyden?
Yes.
Mr. Juliana?
Yes.
Mrs. Woody? Yes. Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Under finance, I will move items number 1 through 17, looking at the full item 3, items 3, 4, and 5, the treasurer has Under special services, I will be items 1 through 6.
Are you looking for a motion? Okay, Mrs. Steele, looking for a second? I'll second. Thank you, Mr. Nuss. Any discussion on special services?
I just had a quick question.
Yes, Mr.
Don't we have a list of like the places that we use for the evaluation and things like that? I just want to recognize any of the names that are on it. You mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to my knowledge, we've used them before.
I do recognize them.
One in particular.
Eric for sure. And I don't think the form is being asked either.
First of all,
Yeah.
just correct information. Parents can request an attended by approved providers, but also by providers that meet qualifications in the state. So even if they're not on the approved list, if they otherwise meet qualifications, they can also be.
Any other discussion on special services? Roll call,
Mrs. Steele? Yes. Mr. Nuss?
Yes.
Mr. Harden?
please.
Mr. Juliano?
Yeah.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. D'Agostino?
Yes.
Motion passes.
And I'm sure you don't like to move item number 1. No cost, so I'm not taking advantage of that.
We're looking for a motion, please.
Almost.
Thank you, Mr. Giuliano, looking for a second?
All set.
Thank you, Mrs. Lee. Any discussion on curriculum? Roll call, please.
Mr. Juliano?
Yeah.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Harden?
Yes.
Mr. Nuss?
Yes.
Mrs. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. D'Agostino?
Yes.
Motion carries.
At this time, we will move on to unfinished business. Does anyone on the board have any unfinished business?
Curiosity, I think you're left-hand turn, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, Mr. Petrosky ordered what we thought we needed.
So we can do that, right?
Yeah, so we looked into it. We installed that sign, at some point, is our understanding. So we don't need permissions from, various agencies. What Mrs. Whitty's referring to, people got mentioned at the meeting previously. Outside this area of Sussex Middle School, there's an exit sign in the driveway. And at some point involved, and Mr. Hyde suggested the last meeting that we don't permit people to make those left turns when buses are dismissing. So there's some signage that we can use to improve that process. And then, the idea is safety in mind, so we don't have a particular accident.
It's just the time that was.
The time.
Yeah, we were doing it at the time, when moving out of this. Listed, I don't know if that is enforceable.
Well, I mean, right, when you put up a sign in the school, the first thing is you want people to comply with it, when you bring enough attention to it. But I think after that, we need Mr. Schwartz out there with one of those orange vests and some landing gear lights. I think, from what I found, we changed things like logistical traffic flow patterns in schools, is that if you communicate it out and then you follow up with reinforcement over an initial period of time, whether it's our security officer out there, sheriff's office has always been supportive of coming out for those types of things. You get people into a groove for long enough, and it hopefully becomes routine for everybody.
Yeah, that's not possible. It's not sort of.
Yeah. If not, then we have to start the authorization tickets. Have a little court.
Any other unfinished business?
Any updates on the in-person/virtual absences? As far as,
Yeah, so we initiated that in real time, so now we have the capacity to mark. We still need to mark a student. You're supposed to be physically present here when mark absent if you're absent. But we now have the ability to mark virtual participation. And 2 of the schools are handling that in the main office. Lawrence School, we kind of let the teachers take ownership of that just because they have such constant communication with parents. we gave them a window of time to notify us. So, yeah, given that includes, but, I mean, generally, at Lawrence, I've gotten a handful.
What are people's thoughts about, and I mean, board members, if kids, if you, I guess we could do a survey to find out if you want to come back 4 days a week, if parents may not send their kids that are currently sending their kids. Because, you know, I hear people wanting to have their kids come back. I also hear parents wanting to keep their kids. But I think without doing the survey, I don't know.
Yeah, so our plan has been out as a second one, as a first one, through conclusion on the second, to initiate a survey about a variety of topics. That one.
What are everyone's thoughts about sending
I think
them back?
we'll discuss it more after the holidays with the school, you know, the kids will be out of school for what, week and a half, for Thanksgiving and a Christmas break, and I just don't think it's a good idea to even, I mean, as a parent, yes, I want my kids to go back to school 5 days a week, but I just don't see it happening this.
That one piece is a challenge.
Well, what if you're going to do, again, from a parent's standpoint, what if you're going to do 4 half days every day? If you had, you know,
I don't think that
I think after you get, just my personal take is, after you get, you know, we roll through a couple drafts of the survey, and get different stakeholders in the creation of it, you know, after you administer that, get some information, you know, put you into right after that first holiday window, you reconvene that reopening committee, so the whole board is here, and then people from the community can weigh in on different aspects and ideas about it. You know, you're running, you know, again, you're coupling that, I think that's down everybody wants that. I don't speak for Speed is here, but I know, you know, a variety of their mindsets. If they could have kids here every day, I mean, that's their expertise, that's what they want to do. But you want to do it safely, right? So you're in that crux of like, you know, to be perfectly candid, I'm not choosing political side or anything remotely like that, but the information that comes out of the wage, the numbers for New Jersey are going in the wrong direction. You know, when you believe it's as virulent as it was, or you believe it's more improved, whatever it is, the numbers are going in the wrong direction. I'm not a medical expert. One of the things I see with the numbers as a layman, even though the daily reports that I get, the numbers are going in the wrong direction, they're going up for the number of infections, cases, I don't see the death incidents that I saw, you know, last year. So, you know, as a layman, I think that's positive. I don't know if it's attributable to they're doing more testing and, you know, there's more exposure in society that they didn't know about. You know, our treatment's better at identifying cases, you know, a variety of things. I don't know, but that seems positive to somebody like me.
Right, would they allow parents to opt for that? Is that something that can be allowed? Or saying what's dictated to you is what you do? In other words, they're saying that I have certain numbers for your mind conditions, your mind.
Yeah, I don't think that anybody's ever put a number on it. I mean, there are recommendations, guidelines for social distancing. You know, taking that mask off to eat is a challenge. You know, right now, Lawrence School gets that done in the classroom, so we can keep that cohort of kids together, right? The other two schools, they don't have that flexibility because of the resources that we have for them. So they can get it done in the cafeteria with appropriate social distancing, and they, you know, spend countless hours mapping that out, and they can get that done. You know, thus far, we haven't had an incident like that. So that's positive, but if you merge, you know, you're going to double the numbers there. That's where you're going to potentially have a problem. I think that this is still, you know, articulated. It's a challenging time to try to do that. You want to do that in an opportune fashion. And I mean, you've got districts all around the county and the state, you know, trying to brainstorm different things. I got one colleague of mine said, hey, we're going back in November, everybody. Don't worry about it. That's not what that works out. We don't want to see how that works out for them. Another colleague, you know, we're not going back to there's a vaccine that the great majority of people take is effective. So, you know, I don't want to make a predetermined decision about it. We want to do it collaboratively. We want to do it safely for every population in some way. to a place of like trying to identify how many kids we would potentially.
That's what I'm trying to get at. If you look at the survey, maybe some parents that are sending their kids 2 days a week, they feel that that's enough, and if we offer 4 days a week, they may say, well, you know, I don't want that.
Yeah.
And in that situation, you have
So,
an idea that that might not happen. You might have half the people now staying home.
Right, but I feel that that is always a legal option for them. We can't tell them no if they decide to change their mind. And if they do, that makes that number, those numbers go up. I mean, legally speaking, I mean, is that an issue?
I think you'll have a small number of people, my prediction would be you have a small number of people say, I have one who has the option of coming, they don't want to come. My hunch would be that the people who are sending their children to school now, want their kids at school, they've accepted the notion that there's some degree of risk involved, and, you know, maybe they're happy with some of the measures that are in place in the school, social distancing and that, but my hunch is that they would want to take advantage of that.
And to address Mr. Lee's question, if let's say every parent all of a sudden decides to bring or return their child to in-person instruction, and the district found it could not accommodate that safely, I think the district would have the ability to implement certain restrictions or perhaps space out when students would start returning so that not everyone is returning at once.
So along both of your lines, kind of one of the things we're brainstorming, thinking about, we don't want to have to say Mike's doing this, just what you're thinking about, is, so you've got self-contained groups, right, you looked at those as well, expand on that a little bit. Another group you're looking at are other special education students, because, to Mr. Short's credit, you can see numbers associated with that in a concrete way. It's a smaller subgroup than the whole population. Can you do something with them? So it's a way to try to build upon what
Well,
you're saying.
I definitely think we need to do something with that population. If we want to, you know, I can't understand if it's a physical, if it's a space that we don't have to accommodate those kids. And think we've got to come up with another solution. I don't know what it would be, but, you know, those kids at that age need to have in-person learning. So I don't know what is it, but I think we have to come up with, so I don't think not having a solution is acceptable, at least for me. So I don't know what kind of brainstorming needs to be done. You know, I would worry about this.
I mean, I'd like to send it back as soon as possible also.
I'm thinking about the special needs. Like that.
I was talking about the broader special education population.
Right.
So,
Mr. Gall, it sounds like after the holidays is when you start to reevaluate. Is that fair to say?
yeah, I mean, I think you're evaluating now with the understanding that after the holidays may be an opportunity. Again, not just in political side, I have no vested interest in either party. I'm hoping, as a layman, that certain things come together the road ahead. I'm hoping after the presidential election, some of the media is less, aggressive in things. I hope research comes out that maybe there's new studies that show that, the coronavirus has evolved and it's not as aggressive as it was. I hope that a vaccine or a number of vaccines come out and they're effective, and they're, my understanding is the federal government's taking some proactive action to produce, what they've identified as new candidates so that they'll have, resources to disseminate when they have those results. My hope is that those pieces come together all at once. I think that moves you in a positive direction as a society, but that's just me as a layman.
Very good, Mr. Gall?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an ideal situation, but it's,
Well, look, I have a question. If we have a number of students that you're saying that number is too big, right, to have in a classroom in that school, is it
That's a top, that's all the human beings in there. Adults, kids.
So if they're not in school, what are all those aides doing?
That's a great question. There is sign as needed.
But they're getting paid, are they doing?
So every day you start the school day off, right? I'm going to throw a ballpark number at you, don't quote me on a number. We have approximately 25 people absent. Correct. Of the 3 buildings. So you're going to take advantage of all those scenarios, right? You're helping people in where you're doing. That's one strategy that we use for that. That's not what that's on. That's a complication of when I described the scenario of some of the things working against us overall, not just, COVID potentially getting sick, which we don't want anyone, but the operations of the quarantine and things like absences, when we had that other case, the number of folks impacted combined with just normal operations of the school district, that has the potential to cripple you, especially around holiday season, cold and flu season. One of the things we're brainstorming that Mrs. Woody's been an advocate of is coming into the next board meeting with a little package of, the re-increased sub rates again. We're really not getting the sub pool that we want. I don't think, some of it we've already taken advantage of for long-term needs and things like that. But others, I don't know if it's worth their while to come in. They see a coronavirus situation, why am I taking that risk and stuff to do? I got other things to do. I don't know if raising that a little bit will help with that. So we're thinking about all things like that to help the scenario along. But that, in my opinion, that's going to be a huge hurdle, not just for us, but probably in other school districts.
Would there be room at one of the other schools for that size class? Yes, the weekend?
Yeah, no, for a variety of reasons, keeping the same building because they have other programs in it. The other thing with the surveys, what I think some school districts are trying to determine is you're seeing school districts solicit information from parents and communities to try to gauge what their holiday plans are. And in my judgment, it's almost to try to predetermine a closure. Like, okay, we're just going to add another week to Christmas break or Thanksgiving break. In my opinion right now, I don't want to predetermine a closure. Like, if you have enough reasons on your own for instances where you may have to close this or that. And I don't think that if you did something like that, when people aren't going to live in a bubble, they're going to take advantage of that time and, go out on the weekend. We can't control that variable. So, and that's my mindset with that.
I have another question. I remember 2 parents telling me, I thought it was odd, that I think one teacher had 3 kids in their class when I worked, and maybe another teacher had 7 kids in the class. I don't remember even what school it was. But if that's the case, and is that possible? Or
Yeah, it depends on the setting and circumstance.
is it possible that you can combine classes to free up an extra room out of that entire school?
Probably if they are doing it, they're doing remotely also. And the social distancing.
Yeah.
In the classroom.
And I think you're commenting on a specific scenario. So in a scenario like that, it's not just a room, it's you need another teacher who's certified.
If you have to get another teacher, and this is going to be something that's long term, I don't think any of us would have an issue with it. I don't know. If you probably need an extra special ed teacher, and we already envision this going on for the entire school year, I would say those kids are critical, and I would be fine if we could find money to find a teacher for that. I don't know.
You want me to go shopping? I'll get the shopping list from
I don't know everyone else will, but if we can find the space, I hate to say that we're not investigating it because we need another teacher, get another teacher. I don't care at this point if the kids need it. At that age, I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine not having the kids in school. the other board members, I mean, can we ask them to look into it? Is there a, I don't know, is that even possible? To do a meeting?
I mean, I don't think it has to, but she already is.
All right, she's already looking.
He's examining that as a possibility.
All right, any other unfinished business in commission? Anybody else? All right, we'll move on to new business. Does anybody have any new business?
Anybody have feedback on the Wednesday conversion?
I think it's a great idea.
Not that I don't think it's a good idea, I think it's a good idea for the kids to be back in school, but the parents that are paying for childcare are gonna lose a spot that day, that they probably already had to pay for, and switching around schedules.
Mr. Gall, if you did do that, would you be able to do the cleaning on Tuesday versus the normal Wednesday? To be clean?
Yeah, you can just make it your Wednesday or Tuesday. It's not, you know. I know the parents in the audience, I don't recall your days, but if you want to get some feedback on it, that would be great. So you had a couple different scenarios being chatted about in the pandemic too. You had in the three schools, you had that kind of thing, right, where you convert Wednesday. You had another perspective of, right now, you're really just coming in person to school Monday, why are you doing that? Right, because you had the Halloween break and some people were like, oh, you know, Halloween, trick or treating, like just take that. There's some school districts like in Hamburg, actually, you know, totally remote. So there's definitely diverse perspectives about it. Or you have just what we're doing now, where you keep Monday in person for Pilgrim Day, Tuesday, Wednesday are virtual.
What is it?
Teacher parents, I know we got some teacher parents in the room.
My kids are being over, so I'm all for that.
Yeah, me too.
Yes,
Yeah.
me too, as a teacher of student needs.
Yeah.
Parents. Send them in.
Yes, Mr. Hunter.
I also have a people with needs to be here today, but at this point I understand the problem that I can't provide that. I want to be here on every possible day you can, but I mean, it's next week, and like Mr. Steele just said, it's going to be difficult. I mean, it's short amount of time for people to make arrangements. I mean, you're going to pop on that, you know, many kids are going to be, they know that right now they're planning having the people going home on Tuesday. But then, you know, they're going to come to school on Wednesday instead, and we should have really had this discussion last month.
Yeah, I think you're right, so it's probably part of my original mindset. But then the counter ideas that were presented were kind of, well, you're here. So on Wednesday, you have a choice, right? If you already have a plan and you don't want to take advantage of that, you don't have to take advantage of it, but it'll be in session if you do.
So, with regards to absenteeism and stuff like that, we're going to be
We can give you your version of I know folks are, we get those inquiries about attendance, and, you know, I was a superintendent person, you know, I think you remember Ferris Bueller presentation and all that, we did a change, but, it's attendance is super important, but it's not, we are not pressing truancy charges on people. If your child is sick, stay home. We don't want, you know, there's no attendance award, you know, that was phased out years ago, so, we've kind of removed some of the emphasis from that in our perspective. But we would give you credit for it.
I'd say we need very
Yeah, so we have to send out a reminder tomorrow anyway, because our fear was we would have people to bust out on Tuesday. So as part of that, we'll say that Wednesdays is no more meeting. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, I have a question. Reason for remote, and we got the email stating we needed to decide by, I think, November 2nd, whether we would continue or send our kids back to school in person. So how as a parent are we supposed to do that, make that decision without having any information on a plan? Like the schedule, is anything going to change? Like Like, you want us to make a decision, but we have no information on how to even make that informed decision for our kids.
They made the decision about coming back to school or Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm doing all remote, so I have to decide whether we're going to continue with fully remote or switch to in-person.
Okay.
So how am I supposed to do that without a set plan?
Yeah, I mean, I would just reach out to the principal and the teacher if you had questions about the dynamics of the classroom or the structure of the day.
It's not that, it's the schedule of the day. I have a daughter in a self-contained classroom. I need to know the schedule. Is it going to be 4 days a week? Is it going to be A/B schedule?
Almost like a commitment from now, like if we were going to commit.
Yeah, because I have to commit until.
Okay, January 1st. On January 1st,
Yeah.
so that, you're looking for a firm date.
Yeah.
So,
I think what we put out is that we're still, the mindset is we're operating under our cohort schedule, AD, same structure of the week that we currently have. These other things that we're talking about, you're trying to brainstorm the road ahead. I don't have an answer for that right now.
And we were talking before out loud about holidays. Were you incorporating just Halloween, Thanksgiving, or Christmas? I mean, you're like.
I meant Christmas.
The questions are getting real tough right now.
I understand that.
No, I was going through Christmas.
So we're all in January. I think.
So listen, I preface this, but don't leave this room saying Mike's bringing back kids in January. This is where I want the world to know that these are the things we're thinking about. If you get to January, you haven't thought about this stuff, then you're really, what are you, September, right? Mr.
I agree, but I think what they're looking for is a definitive statement from the school to say we're going to stick with, for the average population, what we're doing now for the next semester. At least, right? You're looking for something concrete, so you know
That's
what you
something
expect.
to go by.
Yeah.
I say for the indefinite future, even though I'm going to preface this by saying under the world of coronavirus, words like absolutely, confident, definitively are not really a part of my
That's
vocabulary.
what you're asking from us.
Yeah.
You're asking for me as a parent to make a decision for another entire marking period.
So you're making your decision based on what we currently do now.
I guess, like, you're giving me nothing else to go
I'm
by.
saying, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Mr. Hyde?
You want to really look at that now, very constantly, and is it possible for someone to make a decision to come back and then test the waters, see what's going on, and then say, you know what?
You can leave anytime. You can go remote.
You can't come back anytime. You can't come back anytime, though.
Yeah, what we asked for coming back is on a market period basis, and that's just, managing the dynamics of kids in and out. The only thing I'll say is that from time to time we run into scenarios that are, case by case basis. You have some extraordinary need. Somebody's job has been impacted severely, or something along those lines that help with a family member, and they need to make a transition. Then we have a one-on-one meeting. We'll talk about that on a case by case basis.
Can I say something? Can I?
Yeah, sure.
Just getting back to the discussion for Wednesday, I think that if we communicate that as soon as possible, we should give an opportunity to get that face-to-face instruction, and we should also have the ability to do the deep cleaning on Tuesday. That was one of the reasons I was.
Yeah. And the rules are really tonight, we're really focusing
All right, any other comments on the board?
We, as a reminder, we do have the article in that last executive session.
Yes.
We should put the masks so we can see what people are saying. Do you ever like, I can't, it is hard to hear, but I watch it, what's the I mean, it's impossible, I'm trying to see what people are saying, and obviously, for us talking, I don't know.
I mean, instead of this,
Instead of these
you
things.
can't use the facial in place of the mask. No, it's a supplement in addition to. And it's disposable.
This is when you take one out. This is when you. Not yet. Sorry about that. This is what you're on.
I was just, I was just curious what happens to the lunch that doesn't get done.
The lunch-
The lunches that don't get done.
So I disassembled them and then I put them back into the cafeteria for use for Thursday and Friday for meals. So there's no waste.
It's free lunches for every kid, right?
Yes.
Then how do the people that have kids coming to school and want to get, let's say, lunch in school, do they have to pre-order that, so you know, or there's always enough for
When
everyone?
they're in school, they don't have to pre-order, although Florence, they may order in the classroom. But when you're in school,
That's
you
right.
get a lunch for free. If you just have to pre-order, you come and pick up the 3 or AB or 5 for flavor.
The cafeteria staff taking advantage of the school center.
Thank you, Mr. Goody. All right, now we will move on to audience remarks. Members of the audience are invited to make brief comments about items on this agenda and matters of interest to the committee.
So I talked to Ms. Moss today about as far as being here, so we're saying that it's kind of hard to hear, and we're here in gym. And also way back when we were doing virtual, it was very hard to hear everything in the work. So I don't know, is there anything that you can think of that what we could do?
I don't know if there's a great solution for social distance board meetings. Like even back years ago when we were in the auditorium with microphones, it was hard to hear Ed and stuff. You know, acoustics in this room obviously aren't great.
We don't have like a portable.
I don't know what we do with the microphone, I don't know.
Right.
Someone, maybe one person do that. I don't know. All right, that's it.
Thank you so much. Mr. Gall, the district doesn't have a portable PA as far as we're right. So-
Not in the circumstance where everybody would have one.
Thank you. Mrs. Sparta, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I was just wondering, would Wednesday be able to be a day added on? Because obviously my kids are in, I know you teachers tell you, and that's okay. But I'm not a teacher. Like, I am by for a teacher, and I have a kindergartner, and I have a third grader, and my kids have great teachers, but it's a hot mess. Like, it's a disaster. So I was wondering if we could do Wednesday, and then do like cohort A goes the first and third week, and then cohort B goes the second and fourth. That doesn't really, you know, but then at least 1 week, my kindergartner's going in for 3 days, you know, and my third grader, but more or less my kindergartner, and then the following week, they only go for 2 days.
Right.
And then you have snow, and you have all this other stuff that like, will just, or, you know, maybe just do like 5 days a week half days, or something like,
What was that last one?
5 days a week half days. Then you don't have to worry about lunch. Like the lunching is obviously a problem, so take away lunch, do half days.
You mean both cohorts?
Yeah, well, whoever wants to send their kids in, send out a survey. I'm sure there's parents that don't want to send their kids because they don't want to wear masks. I'm sure there's parents that are living with someone who's elder and is ill. I'm sure that there are people that I don't even know, maybe they're just confused, they don't know what they're doing. You know, but like for someone like me, I am not a teacher and I need to utilize full teacher accessibility. And that's what it comes down And then it kind of takes away all these other problems of kids not getting services or whatever. And a little more normalcy than, 2 days a week, which I'm grateful for and I'm appreciative of what everybody's doing, staff, everybody is doing great, but I would just where are we going? It's November. What's the next step? Are we just pausing here for now till after Christmas? Or, the kids go to school, you send your child, they go to school for 70 days out of the whole school year. And that to me is very disturbing, because what are we going to do with all these kids that are only getting 70 days? What's going to happen next year? What's the next plan? These kids, they just have to go to first grade. All the kids that are in 5th grade have to go to the middle school. All the kids that are in 2nd grade have to go to, you're not holding kids back. For me, or for, I would think, our community and our district, and, the teachers and the parents, and everybody's, in my opinion, everybody's doing the best that they can do with what they have, but brainstorming, coming up with some other ideas or avenues or something would make parents feel a lot better knowing, should I keep Sally and Jane home? Should I send them in? Are they going to get what they need? I don't know as far as what teachers say, let them have their schedule and figure it out. I don't know, I'm not a teacher. I just know what a hot mess it is at my house. I have my kindergartner on 4 Google Meets a week in the car, and Mrs. Mom's going to test for that as I'm driving down the road. How much is he really learning in a car? But I don't have any options, so I just have to do that. So and it's not, I'm not mad at anybody, it's not anybody's fault. I'm just saying, I feel that we need to get on something, brainstorm something and try to figure out something as to what we're doing. Because days are going by and kids are missing out on stuff, and teachers, I'm sure, are frustrated because they can't get to their students the way they want to, or kids aren't getting it. If they were in school more, maybe they would get it more. There's just a lot of variables. So if there was just a way to think outside the box, have a plan A, B, and C, and if one of them fails, then go to the next one. That's kind of what we're up against. I'm not saying send everybody in. Obviously, you can't do that, but to have some kind of other avenue than just okay, your kid's going in these 2 days, and But I thought maybe Wednesday, but if that's a deep clean day, because that wouldn't really cross-contaminate, and you keep the kids in A cohort would stay with their kids, and B would stay, you would just every other week they'd get an extra day, or it's an extra bone or whatever. But I don't know if that can be done or not.
Yeah, great point.
How people feel about it.
We're contemplating a rotation on Wednesdays, I don't have to do right now. Right now, we feel status quo because of the yellow nature of New Jersey. I kind of feel like we're going to be.
What's the difference?
What?
What's the difference if we're coming on Wednesday or not? I don't feel like they're taking choices away from parents. And if parents want to send their kids on Wednesday, the deep clean, can you make them clean at night? Not make them, but if you have to hire someone else to do something at night on Wednesdays to do a deep clean, maybe we've got to do something like that to utilize the day in class. I don't know. I kind of agree with Ms. Sparta that we should be using Wednesdays. Anyone else?
I'd like to see, again, as many days as Mr. Gall and the administration feel safe. That would be, I think that's something you said you were looking into, Mr. Yeah, I don't know if any, Mr. Gall, tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it's an administrative decision, right, Mr. Brett? And so, I don't know if it would be made tonight, but I think it's good to have this feedback. I think it needs to be made, if we're going to change something soon, because of the people that need to decide if their students are coming for the second semester, second month of grade, rather. But, I think it's all a good discussion. But I think, Mr. Riddle, you said that for the foreseeable future, you're going to
You should make your decision on what we're currently doing.
yeah, what we're currently doing for the foreseeable. Any other, and we're still on audience remarks. Anybody else have any other?
Can I just say something real quick?
Sure.
I'm just, Lisa Farrell, just on behalf of SWIA. Now that we just do this last minute change to the schedule, I know I used to be on behalf of the teachers that have already prepped and planned for next week, that now we have to change our schedule, change our plan. So just moving forward, if you have concerns looking at the calendar ahead, which is the next market period, if you want to change anything, change it earlier, because the rest of the staff have no idea. And next Wednesday, they have to.
I mean, let me ask you something, does it lessen the complication internally when you just use a Tuesday schedule?
I'm sorry?
Is it less complicated if internally, parents should just come here, you just use your Tuesday schedule?
Well, I mean, in like the perfect world, yeah, but that doesn't apply to every single classroom. Like, I can never tell you I don't have one tech coverage for a Tuesday, so I have to run that. So I'm just saying, like, for some teachers, yeah, I mean, people already have things set and planned and ready to go home for that day, and now we're doing, in-person instruction. So I'm just saying, moving forward, it's not as easy as some people think. We're fine, we're going to do it, of course we will, I personally would prefer kids to come in. I'm just saying, moving forward, to not have to make so many last minute changes would be appropriate,
Yeah, no, I agree. While you're here, you want to shed some light on your perspective of rotating Wednesdays?
It doesn't impact me. My children, my own personal children in high school, so they can pretty much function themselves, but for parents of small kids and trying to navigate that, it might be just a complicated schedule for them. I don't know. I mean, the more they're in for me, the better. But as a personal decision, I think it's a decision you have to make. And I think polling people, polling staff, polling parents might be the best way to go before making that decision.
I think that Michael was asking, like, on the opinion on behalf of, like, SWIA, like the teachers union. I do believe that, having the children come in on a Wednesday obviously would be like a great asset to the teachers and to the children, but hands down, in a perfect world, we would be here 5 days a week, right? But obviously we don't live in that world right now. But I'm thinking ahead to Wednesdays. I know that there's a lot of planning and preparation, planning and preparation that goes into those Wednesdays, especially at like the primary level. We hand out packets to the children, so those packets are like time-consuming, of like 3 hours.
I'm sorry, can you just explain the packet? People know packet. Yes, they might think that means I'm just replicating copies of hard copies for people.
So
That's
it's
really
not
not
hard
what
copies, but like, so you'll see a plastic bag in your water picture that is tiny.
60.
Sorry. Really good. Okay, so like in that plastic bag right there, you will see veterans, thank you for your service, Mr. Yetter. Veterans Day projects that we make and we send out to there's a specific parent that I recommended that we did those veteran cards and whatnot to them. So there's probably like 8 to 10 pieces on these veterans, so that's 20 kids in Monica class, 20 kids in Wagner class, and the match.
Are you getting help with this from the people that may not have assignments?
So they come and help on Wednesdays, and they are a great asset, and we would be the thought process of getting the next follow. So you're not just planning for the next week, you're already prepped and ready to go so that I can hand out packets for the following week on Monday.
Sarah, would you say these packets is integral, especially at your age level?
Yeah, so here's the thing. COVID happened, 7 months went by, there was no preschool, right? No preschool, and I went to kindergarten, so those of you that don't know. The amount of children that cannot, and I don't know if I'm gonna help or hurt with these right now, I'm just being bluntly honest. Those children that have come in that cannot hold a pencil, do not know how to hold scissors. They can't color. They don't know how to do anything because they haven't had preschool. It's not all of them because it's going to come, and I had this conversation with a parent, it's going to come down to the haves and the have-nots, right? So we talk about social injustice in just our community. If you have a parent who can sit with you, like Mr. Hayes probably sitting with his child, that's a have, right? My mom sits with my kid. And I gotta tell you, when my kid goes to Frankfurt, I'm not knocking any other district, but it's almost like the teacher doesn't exist. He goes to school twice a week, he sees the teacher, there's no live streaming, I'm a blessing. I don't want to toot our horns, I'm just saying, be thankful because in other places, for lack of better words, it sucks. And I'm watching it, and it sucks. My kid is seen by his teacher twice a week. There's no live streaming. There's no Google Meets. He has an IEP. There's no 120 minutes a day being met. So I'm on the phone, just trying to do it, right? Just trying to get him what he needs. So it's not fair for anybody. Should we be grateful for what we have? Absolutely. Is it enough? No, it's never enough. Like, I'm not saying that. Like, I agree with you 100%. I've had a conversation with many people. It's nothing new that anyone can hear out of my mouth.
So let's
Let's go back to the Wednesdays. These take a long time, right? These take a long time. And this is going home with the B group on Friday and the A group tomorrow. But just to think about how much you have to think ahead. I have to get my A group stuff ready. My B group kids have to have the A stuff after the break. So it's like those 3 days plus the next day. Now we're switching it up to like the A and B on the Wednesday, which whatever, it's fine, we'll make it work. Yes, it would be good ahead of time to know these things. Am I in favor of them coming in? Absolutely. But to get back to your question of alternating Wednesdays, yeah, I think we should. Should we alternate our regular week? No. I think it might be a little confusing for parents, probably longer blocks at a time, but then you have to really check the calendar, right, and make sure that everyone has an equitable amount. Because if you have one day groups in February, well, there's a lot less Wednesdays in February than there is in March, so you probably have to really look carefully at that calendar at night. I know you can so never do that.
let me ask you something. Wednesday went away, meaning Wednesday you devoted instruction. What happens to those packets?
So these packets probably would be,
It'd be very difficult to
it would be
generate.
very difficult to accomplish. It would take hours and hours and hours. A lot of us are taking a lot of this home now. So I would be making this all right. I don't want to try it. Don't want to say committed to it. Because if you're being honest, I think you need to be the teacher that you want your child to have. And being on the other end of it, my kid's not getting the things that I need, so like I personalize it a little bit more. But I know that we're doing parts of Wednesday. So maybe you can make that Wednesday a Saturday. That's an idea. That still gives your teachers, and like, can the office hours, right? Like, you leave at 1:10, you don't office hours, you get what you get when you're there on Wednesday, you don't get upset. It still leaves time for these things to be accomplished. So I think that would be like that, you need one.
It's not only those things, it's everything. In the middle school, when I'm doing practice, we are turning everything that's written on paper into something.
Right, I can speak for myself. I never be like I'm speaking for me. I can't do that. whatever cohort your child was originally assigned to would be the cohort that they would return to. And then from there, like, the teacher would give you, like, the schedule in the classroom. So those are the things, like, you would definitely speak to your teacher first to answer that question. But the sooner we know, the quicker the planning can start in our heads. So, like, just to give an idea. I had a feeling this was going to come up with printers, but giving me that, like, baby printer. So I don't know if this helps you. And, like, I don't know if it confuses anyone.
I think hearing the teacher perspective firsthand, whether it's from the middle school or art school, I think it's critically important so that the board members can understand the scope of what goes on.
Right, and it's, could we do this online? Absolutely, but like, they can't do anything about it. They need that one person, or babies, right? You get other things around, you can do anything. That's like, you know, it has to.
So there should be no way.
Kindergarten is very agreeable, so we're gonna, no, absolutely not.
Right.
We are very taking on the teachers. That's where we're coming from. And thank you for everything that you guys are doing. So, and listening to our concerns.
See, your kids over there.
They do, but I.
Thank you, Mrs. Moss. I'm sorry, we just have
Right.
And it's like, I don't know, in the one school, they did whatever they did, and that's great for them and whatever, but now all of a sudden, I'm in the school and like I said in my speech, people think that if you walk through that door, you know how to do it. When you don't, we have to teach them. We have to teach them it's not time to play with your iPod, it's not time to sit there and do these little dances on your camera. There's so much we have to teach them, and there's so much work that we have to do with them. And when do they get to do it? They go from my class to your class, back to my class, then to the other class. When do they get to stop? When do they get to be a kid? When do they get to just tune out for a minute? You know, they don't. They don't. And that's part of what middle school is really concerned about right now. We're losing kids in the afternoons daily. They just don't come back. They just don't come back because they can't. They can't do it. So we need to look at, they need to do what they need to do. And we have buildings, we need to do what we need to do in our building. Maybe our building is very different in the fact that maybe we need to go back to a shorter schedule and have hours where the teacher can work one-on-one with a kid, set up those times, after the kids get off for a little bit, you know, whatever we need to do, we need to start really thinking outside the box.
Right, but wouldn't having them go into the, that's what I'm saying as far as Wednesday, wouldn't that be, that would obviously be beneficial though for you and your student because they're coming in, they're seeing you. You know what I mean? Like you're having another day with them, even if it is only 2 extra, you know, any extra day is an extra day, you know? I mean, I'm not saying,
No.
you know, like,
I'm saying we just need to look and think what we're asking the kids to do.
Thank you, please. Yes, did you?
I'm gonna throw a little wrench in this whole conversation.
I know you do great.
So you did this is different. So instead of doing every other Wednesday, in my opinion, in the preschool world, every day is a Monday. Because they come in on Monday, but I don't see them till Thursday, or they come in on Tuesday, and I don't see them till Friday. So any color they learn, any shape they learn, any ounce of progress that is made is gone. So it's starting all over. If we're going to adapt this whole Wednesday policy, is it possible to have, let's say, the A kids this week come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? The other group comes Thursday, Friday. Then the next week be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So every day is not a Monday.
Yeah. One is you're in a highly specialized area. I wouldn't discount what you're saying is probably good for everybody. We contemplated a variety of different scenarios in those early pandemic planning type meetings, right? trying to coordinate with, in particular, high school, but Frankfurt was also involved. Lafayette had different, possibilities for them, their size and stuff, and wanted to move in a different direction, but we try to coordinate that schedule. So if you had an older student, an older child in high school, you might be utilizing them for care, right?
Thank you. Does anyone else have any audience remarks? All right, seeing none, we are going to take a brief executive session. We're going to stay here. We're going to go into the room.
So there's going to be no action after it. If you folks don't want to be here for the adjournment, then we can have our executive here.
Yeah, we'll be about 15 or 20 minutes.
I just want to thank you all for your candor and sharing your perspective. I think that was a very good conversation.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you all for being here, for sharing. We'll be about 15 or 20 minutes. No action.